The moment Jake knelt down on that misty beach at sunset, ring box in hand, my heart should have soared, but instead, it plummeted into a pit of confusion and dread. The diamond caught the fading light, sparkling like a promise, but as he slipped it onto my finger, I froze. This wasn't just any ring, It was my mother's, the antique sapphire band with the intricate filigree she'd worn every day, until the fire supposedly claimed it, along with her life. "It reminded me of you," Jake said, his voice thick with emotion, pulling me into a hug. But my mind raced back to that horrific night 10 years ago, the flames engulfing our family home, the firefighters pulling me out while Mom was declared lost. How could this be her ring? My hands shook as I stared at it, the weight of impossible questions pressing down like an unseen force. Growing up, Mom was my anchor, vibrant, laughing, always with that ring twisting on her finger as she cooked dinner or helped with homework. Dad had given it to her on their anniversary, a symbol of their enduring love. Then came the fire, a faulty wire, they said, turning our world to ash overnight. I was 16, devastated, clinging to Dad as we rebuilt our lives. He never remarried, pouring his grief into work, while I carried the void like a shadow. Jake entered my life 5 years later, a steady presence with his kind eyes and quiet strength. We met at a coffee shop, bonded over shared losses, his parents gone in a car accident. Our relationship blossomed into something real, or so I thought. "Marry me, Emily," he whispered that evening, and I said yes through tears, but the ring gnawed at me. That night back in our apartment, I couldn't sleep. I remember slipping it off, examining the engraving inside. Forever, L&A. Mom's initials with Dad's. My stomach twisted. How did Jake get this? He claimed he found it at an estate sale, a perfect coincidence. But coincidences like this don't happen. The next day, doubt festered like an open wound. I called Dad, my voice trembling as I described the ring. "That's impossible," he muttered, his tone sharp. It burned with everything else. But when I pressed, he grew evasive, changing the subject to wedding plans. Something felt off. His hesitation, the way he avoided my eyes during our video call. I started digging, alone in the quiet of my office, pulling up old news articles about the fire. The reports were straightforward. One fatality, my mother. Body never recovered due to the blaze's intensity. Yet as I scrolled through photos of the charred remains, a nagging thought emerged. Why had there been no funeral? Dad said it was too painful, opting for a private memorial. I pushed deeper, contacting the fire department for records. The clerk's words hit like a slap. "Ma'am, our logs show a small kitchen fire, contained quickly. No fatalities reported." My blood ran cold. No fatalities? Then where was Mom? The revelation shattered me. I confronted Dad that evening, driving to his house unannounced. "What really happened that night?" I demanded, holding up the ring. He sank into his chair, face ashen. "Emily, you don't understand." Tears welled as he confessed fragments. Mom hadn't died, she'd left us. The fire was a cover, a staged accident to escape a life she no longer wanted. Debt, an affair. He wouldn't say. "She gave me the ring before she went," he whispered. "I hid it, thought it was best you believed she was gone." Betrayal burned through me, hot and unrelenting. All those years of grief, the therapy sessions, the what-ifs, built on a lie. I stormed out, sobbing in my car, the ring feeling like a shackle. But as I drove home to Jake, questions swirled. How did he really get it? Did he know about this? The pieces didn't fit, and when I walked through the door, seeing him smile innocently, suspicion coiled tighter. That night, I found something in his drawer, a letter addressed to him in handwriting that looked eerily like Mom's. My world tilted, the truth lurking just out of reach, promising more pain than I could imagine. The letter in Jake's drawer stared back at me like a ghost from the grave, its edges worn. Postmarked from a town I'd never heard of, 5 years ago. "My dear Jake," it began in Mom's looping script, "I've missed you more than words can say." My knees buckled as I read on, the words blurring through tears. She wrote of second chances, of a life rebuilt away from the past. But the bombshell dropped midway. "Our secret is safe. Emily must never know." I clutched the paper, my breath ragged, realizing Jake wasn't a stranger to my family. He knew Mom, intimately. The raw hurt exploded into fury. How long had this been going on? Was our entire relationship a facade? I remember confronting him that instant, bursting into the living room where he sat watching TV. "Who is she to you?" I yelled, thrusting the letter at him. His face drained of color, eyes wide with panic. "Emily, let me explain." The confession poured out in halting bursts, each word a dagger. Jake admitted he'd met Mom years before we dated, at a support group for those who'd lost loved ones. But Mom wasn't grieving, she was hiding. She'd faked her death to escape crippling debts from a gambling addiction, staging the fire with Dad's reluctant help. Jake, drawn to her story, fell into an affair with her. "It was brief, stupid," he said, voice breaking. "She ended it, disappeared again. But she left me the ring as a reminder." My mind reeled. The proposal wasn't fate, it was a twisted trophy, a way to close the chapter on his past while unknowingly dragging me into it. "I didn't know she was your mother until later," he claimed, but his eyes flickered with guilt. The twist came when he revealed the full truth. Mom had contacted him recently, begging him to give me the ring as a sign she was alive, a covert way to reach out without exposing herself. Jake agreed, thinking it would bring me closure, but hid his involvement to protect our future. Betrayal crashed over me like a tidal wave. I felt used, a pawn in their web of lies. "You proposed with her ring knowing everything?" I whispered, tears streaming. He nodded, collapsing in shame. The confrontation escalated. I called Dad, piecing together the full deception. Mom had manipulated them both, using Jake to test the waters for a return, fearing I'd reject her. The emotional low hit hard. I locked myself in the bathroom, sobbing over memories of a mother I'd mourned, now alive but a stranger. Yet amid the pain, a spark ignited. This wasn't just heartbreak, it was a wake-up call. I'd spent years defined by loss, but now I saw the strength in reclaiming my story. Over the following weeks, I broke off the engagement. The ring returned to Jake like a discarded chain. I tracked down Mom myself, showing up at her doorstep in that distant town. She opened the door, older but unmistakable, and we talked for hours, raw, painful truths exchanged. "I was drowning, Emily," she said, eyes filled with regret. "I thought leaving would save you." Forgiveness didn't come easy, but confronting her lifted a burden. The shocking twist. During our talk, she revealed Jake had been more involved than he admitted. He'd helped stage the fire, drawn by his obsession with her. It was the final betrayal, confirming my decision to walk away. From the ashes of that deception, I rose stronger. I moved cities, started therapy anew, and built a life on my terms. No more shadows. The quiet acceptance settled in. Sometimes the people we love fail us spectacularly, but that failure forges our power. Looking back with grace, I see how betrayal taught me resilience, turning pain into purpose. If you're watching, remember, your story isn't written by others' lies. You hold the pen, reclaim it, and watch yourself soar.